Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on the Arrowverse and, well, yeah, the Arrowverse. No, yeah, Arrowverse DCTV connection, whatever. It's one of those videos. But yeah, we're in the final run of DCTV on the CW, and, while I consider the Arrowverse, which has dominated most of DC's run of the CW, to just be the shows that were either set on Earth 1 for the, majority of the time, or played into the crossovers most of the time, so Supergirl gets in due to that, there is a lot of people that consider the Arrowverse to just be any DC show that aired on the CW after Arrow, aired. So pretty much every show apart from Smallville, though due to Crisis, maybe Smallville is technically in the Arrowverse now. I personally don't think so, but some might think that's the case. But anyway, in this video, we're continuing the trio of videos I started recently, I guess, where we'll be ranking every Arrowverse show's second season from worst up to best. Now, we have 8 shows in total that I'm including, all these shows having a minimum of 3 seasons. So Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Legends, Black Lightning, Batwoman. I actually wrote Batman in my notes, but Batwoman, Stargirl, and Superman and Lois. Those are the 8 shows that count. They are the ones included in this video. Now, if you want to watch the video where we rank the first seasons, that will be linked in the description down below. Up to you if you want to go do that. So yeah, like the first entry in the series, I'll be ranking their second seasons, not the show as a whole, just the second season's quality, starting at number 8 and ending at number 1. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your opinions in the comments section down below. You can comment your top 8, your top 3, whichever you want to do. Remember, it's the second seasons we're talking about. So yeah, let me know in the comments your opinions, and also your opinions on my opinions, if that makes sense. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, drop a like, takes 2 seconds. So we're coming in at last spot, number 8, whichever way you want to put it, we do have Batwoman. Now for me, the people would disagree. It depends if you watched Batwoman or even cared, up to you. I actually think season 2 of Batwoman is worse than season 1. And it's just because it's all over the place. They had to do with like Ruby Rose leaving the show, and they didn't simply just recast the character. Like I think most people agree they should just recast the Kate Kane character. They decided to create a new character. And they pretty much just created this hodgepodge of a story where they had to introduce a new Batwoman, but at the same time they didn't fully kill off Kate Kane. She was still there. It was just a weird storyline. It just didn't really work. It didn't really work. It has some okay episodes, but as a whole, it's completely messy, and it's like a self-destruction. Like they could have made this season probably maybe even like, I don't want to say top 3 because it definitely wouldn't have been top 3, but at least maybe 6th at best. I don't know, but they decided to go down the hardest option possible, and they get last spot. And number 7 is Supergirl, and I'd said this previously with Supergirl and its seasons really up to season 4, I think it was. I think 4 is the best season of Supergirl, from the top of my head from memory. But they got gradually better. So this season, just by default, because it gets gradually better up to season 4 where it sort of peaks, season 2 is better than season 1. Unlike with Batwoman, where I think season 1 is better than season 2, I think season 2 of Supergirl is better than season 1 of Supergirl, just because it actually sort of felt like a superhero show. Like this is the first season it was on the CW. It sort of fell into what we expected from CW superhero shows and everything like that, the DC shows. It's still not great. It's still a bit all over the place. They had like the Mon-El storyline and his parents and stuff, which, yeah, wasn't amazing. This did introduce Superman, though, into the universe, which we're still seeing to date with Superman and Lois and the Tyler Hoechlin iteration of it. So that's a pro there. There's still some decent stuff there, but it was still just a not great season, but still better than season 1 and better than Batwoman season 2. At number 6, I have Black Lightning. Now, the reason it's here is because season 2 was a bit of a drop-off from the quality of season 1 with Black Lightning. It's definitely not a terrible season. It's just, I would say, a meh season of the show. Like I think season 1 and 3 of Black Lightning are the 2 best seasons out of the 4 that they did. And season 2 is not as bad as season 4. Season 4 of Black Lightning is pretty bad, at least compared to the rest of the show. But season 2 is just not that great. You'd watch it in a rewatch, especially if you're just doing season 1 to 3, maybe avoiding 4. But it's just whatever. It just doesn't, knock any walls down, if you want to put it. At number 5, this might be surprising, but at number 5, I put Superman and Lois, which is weird because I think this was number 3 or number 2 for season 1s, and yes, they're different seasons, but, this is where it falls on this list. And I think most people agree that there's some really cool aspects of season 2, and season 2 of Superman and Lois isn't a bad season. It's just not as good as the top 4 here, and when I start talking about the top 4, you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's probably where the top 4 should be. Maybe move some of them around, but that's probably what the top 4 should be. But season 2 of Superman and Lois is just good. It's just good. It's not amazing. It's not as good as season 1. It's not as good as season 3. It's just a bit, maybe some would say messy, but I think maybe it's just that people didn't really vibe with the villain. People didn't necessarily know where they were going with it. I think it has a really good finale, but I think it just, maybe the story that they went with didn't feel like it deserved to take up that entire season. Though there's some really cool aspects of this season. It's still a really good season. It's just not as good as season 1 or 3, and it's just not better than the top 4 that we're going to go through. So I still like Superman and Lois season 2. It's just not as good as these other shows or these other seasons of these particular shows. You might disagree, that's fine. I just think it, at least how I appreciate these shows and how I view the seasons, that's where it lies on my list. At number 4, we have Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, otherwise known as the Legion of Doom storyline. I think this is the best season of the show, of Legends of Tomorrow, and still not enough to crack into the top 3, which is pretty crazy. But I think the top 5 here of Superman, Lois, and Legends of Tomorrow, and then the other 3 shows are just great second seasons. And Legends of Tomorrow Season 2 is pretty much great from beginning to end. You know, you start off with like the JSA stuff, and then it leads into the Legion of Doom, and just some really cool things. You know, in a perfect world, they could have had like cameos and stuff like that, which would have elevated maybe what they were trying to do here. But for the most part, they do what they wanted to do and pretty much nail it. I don't think there's really any major missteps. So yeah, season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow with the Legion of Doom and everything around that, great, best season of the show, and probably unlucky to miss the top 3. But here we go into the top 3. I don't know, it probably just depends if you watch all these shows whether like everyone would have this top 3. I think some people might have Legends up there, some people might even have Superman and Lois up there, but I'm pretty happy with this top 3, and I'm pretty happy with the actual individual places. I don't think I would actually rethink it and shape it up and move any of them. I'm pretty happy with where 3 is, where 2 is, and where 1 is. So at number 3, I have Stargirl, which of course was the Eclipso season. I think this was just really well done from beginning to end. It was a great follow-on from season 1, playing into some of the events from the season 1, as well as just sort of like going its own way, if you want to put it. And then there's also even setting up some stuff for season 3 as well within it. But I think Stargirl is one of those shows where I think all 3 seasons are pretty much almost on the same quality. Whether like, I don't know if you'd love season 1 then hate season 2, or think season 1's meh, love season 2, and then not like season 3. They're all pretty much even playing field, which is a really good sign for a show when it's just consistent throughout it. You know, we wish we got more seasons of the show, but the fact that we got those 3 seasons, they're all pretty damn consistent in regards to the quality and stuff, is always a, you know, a good sign. But yeah, Eclipso coming in as the villains was definitely more of a darker season. Like, they definitely approached some different, you know, issues and topics, if you want to put it, through the Eclipso method, which I thought was cool. And yeah, I definitely think this season is worthy of being in the top 3. At number 2, I don't know, I think, once again, some people might have this choice at their number 1, a clear number 1. But for me, it's number 2, and it was always going to be number 2. I sort of knew it was going to be number 2 when I sort of started putting this list, and I knew what number 1 was going to be. But at number 2, I have The Flash. The Flash, season 2, I think episode by, well, how would I word it? Like, I think week to week when watching it, especially when it was on, it was more hype and stuff, and there was a lot more going on, like individual week to week episodes. But I just think the ending of this season it doesn't, you know, fall off like some other seasons have, whether it's with The Flash or whatever. Like, just they don't work with the finale and stuff like that. It just doesn't end as like in such a satisfying way as season 1 did, and you got to base it off the entire season. So I think like Zoom's storyline and stuff just doesn't work completely end to end. It falls off a bit just what the character was and what his grand plan is. It just didn't feel like it worked that well. But the season as a whole is damn good. Like, it's still a really, really, really good season, to the point where it is number 2, and it's beating Stargirl and Legends of Tomorrow's second seasons. You know, in the case of Legends, it's clearly its best season, and it's like The Flash is a couple of spots ahead of it. So yeah, season 2 of The Flash is still one hell of a ride. But and I said, people might have this as their number 1, but for me, my number 1 is different. And what is that number 1? Well, if you were, you know, doing the process of elimination in regards to the shows that we said we're going to be on this list, number 1 is, of course, Arrow and its second season. Perfect season, I think, in regards to how Arrow is set up with the flashbacks in the present day. They all sort of blend into each other and work really, really well. Easily. And this also includes the introduction of the Flash as a character with Barry Allen showing up, and you also get his origin in it, well, him getting struck by the lightning at the very least. Arrow Season 2 with the Deathstroke stuff, even the Sarah Lance stuff, and how that plays into the Canary stuff as well. And then how then that plays into the just all the present day stuff with the Queen family and everything like that, and even Roy Harper and all the stuff like that. I think Season 2 of Arrow is one of the best seasons in the Arrowverse, but I think it's, to me at the very least, I think it's clearly the best second season. Like the Flash Season 2, as I said, it's number 2, but I think Flash Season 2's quality is probably more in comparison to like Stargirl and even Legends, while I think Arrow for me is an easy number 1. I just feel like that's the case. Someone might be able to talk me out of it, but I highly doubt it, just because I'm pretty dead set on that. But I don't know, he might be able to challenge me with that. I'm not too sure. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below your opinions on this. You can leave 8 to 1, rank all of them, or you can just do your top 3 or top 4 or top 5, or just rank the ones that you've watched. You might not have watched Supergirl or Batwoman or Black Lightning or something like that, and you can just rank the shows that you've actually watched its second season and then compare all the options there. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts and your opinions on my ones as well. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, takes 2 seconds. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.